Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Will Dinwiddie, aka Ultra Beast, owner of Epic Fitness Solutions. Don't be average, be epic. I was asked if I would make a video on or give an explanation on why I compete and what competing means to me, how it affects my life. Um, I compete for a lot of different reasons. Uh, He wanted me to talk about overcoming fears. Yeah, I've competed to overcome fears because I wanted to try it. I wanted to. I had a fear of getting hurt, um, but I knew I had to overcome it. So when I, after I tore both my biceps off, the first contest back, I was excited, but I was really, like worried that I could tear it off at the contest. So I mean, I was really kind of, I was real careful about how I lifted, real specific, um, and it turned out, overcoming all that, I gained my confidence back and I grew stronger, and it got me back in the game, and then eventually I become an arm wrestler even after I tore my biceps off, and turns out I'm pretty good at it, and that was all. All the good things are basically just a product of what going through the hardship does for you. Like, or going through the things that scare you. So when you go through things that scare you or intimidate you or force you to question yourself, that those are good. That's what it's supposed to be doing. That's its job, is to get you to be more serious. So make sure that you're prepared. So if you have 12 weeks, that's extra. That's good. If you have 16, that's even better, because then you have more time to make sure you're going to be ready on that day. So that's why one thing I use competitions for is to, I did it to overcome a fear that I had, that my career was over, and I wanted to overcome that and prove to myself that I wasn't done yet. I had just gotten started. I just had to overcome this little roadblock, and I had to learn some things about myself from that injury. Um, but in the past, before that point, it was to just prove dominance. So I just wanted to be the dominant athlete. Like I wanted to, like I just had like a lot more testosterone. It was my 20s. I felt like I had a lot more to prove to the world, and to myself. I needed to prove it to myself, and to prove that I was just as good as the very best, and so my motivations at that time in my 20s, but were different than they were even in my early 20s slash teenage years. Like in my teenage years, the motivation was I wanted to be strong enough that nobody would want to try to bully me anymore, and pick on me, like, because that hurt me emotionally, man. I mean, all those years that I got, thrown in the trash cans and thrown on the ground and in the bushes and stuff. Like at the time, like I laughed it off, but on the inside, when I went home at night and I thought about it all, I just, that hurt me to think of that, to think that people didn't really care about me, and that I was used for their entertainment, like, to know that they didn't really care if I got hurt or not. They weren't going to be there to help me if I needed it. And so it was like knowing all that at such a young age, and it was hard to accept that, and to feel that. And so I needed to do something to make myself feel good, and so the gym was the perfect fit, because from the very first workout, when I got that pump, and then I did that weight and I did those exercises, I realized I'm like, I can control the amount of success I have somewhere finally, and I can feel that the more effort I give, the better result I get. So it was just like, it made the most sense to me. It's like, it's all on you. So the way your body looks and performs is all on the way you practice, and the way you train, and the way you work out, and the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you mentally prepare for workouts in advance, how you have it, how you have the plan laid out, the program design, um, and then understanding the techniques of the actual exercises so you can get the most out of them and become the most efficient possible. So there's a lot to, being your very best, and you have to start somewhere, and my motivations change as time goes on. So what motivates me now is the same thing that motivated me in strongman. It's just not in strongman anymore. It's in arm wrestling. I love the feeling of winning and dominating, and I just want to continue doing that. I want to see how far I can go, in professional arm wrestling. And so, my motivations are to keep my body strong and healthy. I'm going to compete in strongman, but I have goals I want for 2017 to compete in some powerlifting. I have some numbers that I want to hit in a tournament. I want to hit a 700 squat and see if I can pull a 750 or 700 to 750 deadlift, and then bench 440 or more, all in tournament. So I mean, my goals and motivations are changing based on what my goals are. Like as I achieve goals, I set new ones immediately after. And my main goal in my mind is to be the greatest that I can be while I'm alive. Like to compete in as many elite level contests as I can, lift as much weight as I can, do as much as I can in every sport. Because what every sport does is it stretches me. Like it gets me away, it gets my mindset on thinking about something totally new, so it keeps me refreshed. I'm not always thinking the same things over and over again. I mean, like that, I just can't do that for long periods of time anymore like I used to. Like I need more new things to challenge myself with, and so learning all the strength sports and competing in them all and working to be an elite level at all of them, is a passion. It's a goal. It's something that I may never complete, and that's the whole idea. Is it's something that's so big and it's so hard to try to do that it's going to take me my whole life, and so it's like that's what I do, and that's why so my motivations are based on excitement, fear, joy. I want to feel the feelings of overcoming fears. I want to feel the feelings of overcoming weaknesses. I want to feel the feelings of getting better and doing things that I once didn't think I could do. Overcoming myself. Like I love overcoming those voices in my own head that try to talk me out of it. Like, and then I tell people sometimes about my goals, and then they even try to talk me out of it. Like, reminding me of things I already know. It's like, I know how dangerous some of the stuff I do is, and I know what it can do to my body and stuff. But that's the whole point. Is that it's the risk. It's risky. Like it makes life worth living. Pushing yourself. Like I'm not just gonna sit around and watch on TV all the fucking great athletes doing it, and I'm watching them from the sidelines. No way. I'm going to be one of those guys that are out there, that's out there doing it and being that, and inspiring other people to do the same thing, because it feels great, for one, to be a champion. It's hard to explain until you've experienced it yourself. But it feels great. It confirms all your belief systems about yourself. It makes you believe in yourself more, It feels great to train and hit PRs. I mean, it feels great to train hard. Just to train, even if you're not competing for anything, just training hard, pushing yourself, like making yourself go hard every time, Competing just helps you to do that more often because you have a reason to be going hard. If you don't have a set goal, eventually you won't go as hard as you can because you'll just talk yourself out of it. As time goes on, you realize how much work it is, and it becomes a lot of effort. And so that's why it's important to have goals and to have goals that you can change up on. So the whole idea of the gym that I'm building, that I've built, with all the different strength sports, like I can go from one strength sport to another and keep my enthusiasm for training at an elite level, which keeps me at that high level, and it gives me a break from the other sports when they become too much, So anyway, the motivations, the motivations are constantly evolving, as should you. If you're watching this video and you're looking for inspiration and motivation, you should also be allowing yourself to evolve into more, because that's what your whole life purpose is. Every day you should be learning something, changing perspective, trying new things, taking on new information. If you're hearing some of the repeat information from a new source, it just gives you more confidence that you're doing the right things, you're hearing the right things from the right people. But pushing yourself, uh, and overcoming your fears and overcoming your doubts and limiting beliefs, proving to yourself that you can accomplish things by actually doing it. That's what I live for, man. I love that. I love overcoming these obstacles and challenges, and not just fucking being a grinder, man. Just get in the trenches and grind your way to the top, that's how I do it, and that's a fun way to do it. It's a lot of adventure in my life. So, um, I do it for the adventure too, just competing is adventurous. It takes you to places you've never been, and and it introduces you to people you never would have known before. So it's great. It opens up your world to new opportunities and possibilities. Um, but anyway, that was the answer. That's my answer. That's all I'm saying. Um, Check out my other videos. If you want to leave a comment, put it in the comment box below. And as always, don't be average, be epic, baby.